So there's been warnings to millions of Firestick users that they could end up facing jail time. Yes, that's right, jail time for using certain apps, certain IPTV services, jail time for streaming illegally. So, what classes are streaming illegally? What's going on with these articles? There's news articles popping up from newspapers across quite a few different ones. So I thought, let's take a look at them. Let's see if we can dictate what's the fear-mongering, the scaremongering out of what's actually happening. See if any of it actually makes sense, or if they're just trying to get a load of clicks on their news articles. It is what it is. Or if they're actually telling the truth. Or if it's just a campaign of scaremongering, so some people at home would think, well, I don't want to do that anymore, I'm going to delete those apps, without even reading into the article. So let's go and have a little look and see what we can find out about it. Before we do this though, if you can, do remember to hit that subscribe button. We will cover everything streaming. We will try and keep you up to date with the news. We will try our best to keep you up to date with the good side of the news and all the streaming apps. We cover tons of official streaming apps here. So if you want to stream all your content officially and with the most content you can get, we are the place for you. Okay, so what are we talking about? There is tons of articles popping up. Some of these newspapers are absolutely appalling anyway. And I first saw this from it was actually a TikTok from Iptv. You'll probably know Iptv. He did a TikTok on it, and I thought, let's have a little look into this as well. And I see there's a few more videos popping up on it as well. So let's take the first one I clicked on, and the headline we've got. Terrifying Fire TV stick warning should stop you streaming free content for good. Well, that's a bit misleading, because just because something is free doesn't mean it's illegal. First off, okay? First thing, so the headline is well off, personally. This is obviously coming from is companies like Sky, Netflix, Disney. Whereas we've got tons of free content from the likes of YouTube, BBC iPlayer, ITV. I know they need a TV license, but you've got loads of other ones like Crackle, loads around the world which have free content, okay? Which are legal streaming services. Okay, let's have a little read of the first paragraph. With the current financial crisis continuing to affect families across the UK, it's no surprise that homes are looking for cheap ways to watch TV. A standard Sky contract costs around £30. That's with nothing though. But start adding sports, cinema and things can rise over £70 per month. Subscribe to Netflix, Disney and Prime Video and bills could push through the hundreds barrier. Exactly this. And you still wouldn't get to watch all the sport you want. Let's have a little look. Let's see if we can find the nitty gritty. Oh, there's some good stuff in here. Okay, sadly, watching telly without paying a premium is often too good to be true. Cyber crooks appear to be using the law of cut-price content to spread vicious data-stealing malware. Once a TV device is infected, it can even attack the whole broadband network, leaving other devices connected to the same Wi-Fi at risk of attack. Okay, interesting that one. Speaking to the Mail Online, this is why this article not that credited, really, let's be honest. Cybercrime specialist from the University of Central Lancashire said your personal data may be sold. This includes contact details such as email address, IP address, home address, credit card numbers. Okay, so let's be honest. Out of these apps, don't get me wrong, there is some malware in certain apps, some dodgy apps, but official apps, it could be Prime, Facebook, Twitter, they all take your information unless you turn off the settings, which we have videos on how you can turn the settings off to stop things like Amazon and your Fire Stick tracking you. I will link that one underneath. But they're not going to get, well, if you use the correct security protocols, they're not going to get into your Wi-Fi and things like this. One, you're not going to give your credit card details to some dodgy company because you're not that stupid, okay? You're more likely to give your credit card details to an official company who then share it with their partners and your IP address. IP address, most of us use a VPN, keep our IP address private and protected, as always. Here we go then. A Firestick contains an operating system which can be infected by malicious software, which could then infect any device it is connected to. This may give a criminal access to other devices that are connected to your home network. The person selling the Firestick may even have included vulnerabilities or backdoors that allow them to access your network and collect network data. Okay, this is very unlikely. There's not many apps which can create backwards loopholes into your Firestick unless you give it permissions, okay? On your Firestick, this is where the ADB debugging part comes. So if an app decides it wants to make a connection, you have to accept it or not. Generally, word of advice, like I've always said, you buy your Firesticks from Amazon. You set up your Firesticks yourselves. You come to my YouTube channel and set up your Firestick officially and keep it safe. Another reason to be careful is that many providers are being closed down, which means you could end paying for services that no longer work. This is true. IPTV services get shut down all the time. Illegal streaming gets shut down all the time. People who do that take that risk. But when you pay, say, £10 a month, which is very high these days, a lot of services are probably around £40 a year from what you see online. £40 a year. If it got shut down after 2 months, it's still cheaper than those official ones. So, okay, during a 3-week period last month, Act and Sky delivered 47 legal notices. You can see who the key people are in this one, which is Sky, trying to scare everybody into things. Illegal IPTV services providers are breaking the law and putting consumers at real risk of malware, data loss and identity theft. This is their scare tactic today. It is identity theft, obviously like that. Many websites can do this sort of stuff as well. You're more likely to get infected on a website or from a website than you are on a device like a Firestick. An updated Firestick has security protocols in place. That's why they push so many updates. Android operating system is a lot harder to infect than internet's. You can't specifically get viruses, but you can get malware. So I wouldn't worry too much, but obviously make sure you are running regular checks. All these videos are available on my channel. That article, considering the headline, terrifying Fire TV stick warning could stop you streaming free content for good. No, can't see that one. What's this one then? Could your neighbour report your illegal Amazon Fire Stick, warning to lawbreakers streaming content on dodgy devices, as experts officers might turn up at your door? So why would your neighbour report you? How would they know? People using Amazon Fire Sticks and other illegal streaming devices could soon face a knock at the door from police officers, warning them they could be prosecuted, experts have warned. According to data from cybercrime specialist Fact UK, there has been a significant increase in the number of viewers using the Fire Stick to illegally watch subscriptions. I tell you what, it might have gone up, but Fire Sticks, I reckon, are being used more officially now than unofficially they were maybe 7-8 years ago when I first started making videos, because it was a lot easier back then for it to be promoted. Here we go then. Intelligence unit officers working with Fact UK have sent out cease and desist letters and are conducting nationwide knock and talks with those who take part in the illegal practice, informing individuals they face further action or prosecution if they do not stop. So if any of you, in the comments, let me know if you've ever received a letter. Okay, let me know. Interesting part here is a lot of these articles talk about your privacy and your security, about your information, your IP address, but they are the ones using your IP address to send you a letter, according to this. So they are using your information without your permission about what you are doing on the internet and then sending you a letter, because how else would they know? Okay, so these are your internet service providers who are then letting people know. Interesting part, that one. A spokesperson for Fact said Fact constantly monitors the digital landscape to combat illegal streaming services in the UK and Ireland. We utilise a range of methods to identify individuals engaged in unauthorised business that offers access to illegal streams. Still, so they are trying to find your details. If you're worried about your IP address being leaked, I will link these articles underneath, but I'd take them with a pinch of salt. It'd be very unlikely that anyone's going to knock at your door. They are mainly going after providers, okay? Most arrests, anyone who's had prison time, has all been people selling it and providers. I'm not saying they wouldn't make an example of someone at some point, but it'd be a very hard case to fight if they tried to put an individual in jail for watching a streaming service at home when millions more are doing it as well, because that would just be targeting and picking, and they'd never be able to treat everybody the same. But for people who are selling it, there is some people on there selling it who did get up to 10, 11 years. So that wouldn't be something I would recommend, but I wouldn't, we don't recommend IPTV services or third-party streaming here. We stick to the official stuff anyway and bringing you the news. Take those articles with a pinch of salt. A lot of it is a kind of technique to make you think twice, but more likely to hear if you actually heard some knocks at the door. Even if they did knock at 1,000 people's doors, 100 of them might be streaming illegally and think, okay, I'll stop doing that. Whereas 900 think, I'm not doing anything wrong. So they can just guess, even if they sent letters to 1,000 people. It's a scare tactic. But if you're worried about the leak of your IP address or anything like that, this wasn't a sales pitch for IP Vanish. We do mention IP Vanish at the end of every video. It is linked underneath and it does keep yourself protected. We recommend this for official apps. We do official apps normally, and this stops your information and your IP address being leaked, so they can't share it with other providers, because that's what all apps do, whether they're official or unofficial. At $3.33 a month, you can put this on all your devices. That's on the 2-year deal, linked underneath. We do get a small commission on that one. It does help support the channel, and we appreciate it if you use our links. Brilliant. I've been rambling for a long time on that one. Do remember to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you soon.